so much, Los Angeles. A few years ago, I had the great pleasure, the great honor of recording this next song with a hero of mine, the legend that is Mavis Staples. I kind of wrote this song to remind myself of all these ways in which people have contributed over the years to the world around them. In the context of this song, particularly artists, musicians that we very often look up to, people like Mavis Staples, you know, artists who've kind of bared witness to the world around them and sang about it honestly, you know, but also just how people every day can contribute and do contribute to the world around them. And in these kind of small, everyday, sometimes beneath notice, I think every single one of us is liable to bear witness to what's going on for people around them. Maybe turning to their friends and family and saying, hey, I see what you're going through, and here I am, you know, I'm here for you. I'm not going to abandon you in that. And these small little acts of love and solidarity, which on a hard day for somebody might be holding the world together, you know. On the micro, they seem like nothing. Seems like nothing to do that. But I think that when you zoom out on the macro and everybody's doing that in the same direction, things have changed forever. The world has changed forever. I also wrote this song to remind myself of everything we have to be thankful for that has been achieved through community organization and protest, you know? And I draw a line between these two things of people just recognizing the experience of the people around them, or the experience of their neighbors, or the experience of themselves, and then activating some small compassionate part of themselves in a powerful way. And when people do that at the same time, change happens, you know? And we take for granted all of these things in our day-to-day lives that protest brought about. And I know it depends on who you're talking to. People can roll their eyes when people talk about protest, people can vilify it, but regardless of where you're coming from on the political spectrum, there's all these things we enjoy day to day in our respective democracies that protest has given us, you know, community organizations. We take for granted that every single citizen should have the right to vote, you know. That's not something that was the case within living memory. We take for granted that women should have the right to vote. We take that for granted. That's something that took generations of work, generations of protest. We take for granted that women should have control over their reproductive systems, you know. That's something that my country only achieved in 2018, a few years ago. And it wasn't until activists started putting feet on the street, and there was grassroots movements and protests, that politicians would utter a mumbling fucking word to an issue that endangered the lives of women for generations, you know. We take for granted that members of the LGBTQ+ community should maybe have the same rights as us, right? Feel welcome in our society. And that's something that took a lot of work and took a lot of people recognizing the experience of other people, recognizing the experience of their friends, their neighbors, their siblings, their kids, and saying, you know what, your experience might be different from mine, from my lived experience, but I want you to feel as safe and secure in this society as I feel, you know? It's really simple. As I said, I recorded this with Mavis Staples, who used to sing before speeches with her family, the Staples Singers. You're probably aware, before speeches during the American Civil Rights Movement, right? And I come from Ireland. I don't know if there's anybody here with any Irish family or Irish heritage. But why that was of some interest to me is that the civil rights movement that happened here in the 1960s directly inspired a civil rights movement that happened very shortly afterwards in Northern Ireland. Directly inspired. At a time and place where not every single citizen was guaranteed the right to vote. Again, something within living memory. We've been singing this song now the last 10, 11 months. Anybody who would activate that same honest human witness, that same compassion, reach out to their representatives and say, you know what, no human being should be subject to the kind of violence we're seeing on our TV screens over the last 10 months. No human being. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, whether you're a Palestinian citizen or an Israeli citizen, no human being should be subject to that kind of violence. And I believe at the core of it, people are are good. You know, they would want to see safety and security for their neighbors. They wouldn't want to see their neighbors living in the fear of hatred. They wouldn't want to see their neighbors living in the fear of racism. To live in the fear of anti-Semitism or live in the fear of Islamophobia, you know? I believe that people at the core of it are good. If you feel moved to reach out to your representatives and ask them to support a ceasefire and what's going on at the moment, I so strongly urge you to. I so strongly encourage you to. As I said, I come from Ireland, which has centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years of occupational history, occupational violence, sectarian violence, and the peace process that came about in the 1990s, which meant that I grew up in a peaceful island, had huge involvement from the international community and the US administration at the time, huge involvement from US citizens at the time. So it's something I'm incredibly grateful for. And so I'm coming from that place that if you feel moved to reach out, these things make a huge difference. If you feel moved to reach out and ask your representatives to support a political solution for what's going on. Ask them to support peace and safety and security for everybody in that region. And that would of course mean seeing a Palestine that's free from occupation. But I've been talking a long time and I want to thank you for letting me speak from the heart for a moment. I want to thank you for letting me witness the kind of everyday goodwill that I see in a night like this. People coming together to enjoy music together in each other's company. People looking out for their neighbours if somebody's feeling faint. People looking out for people they don't even know. You know, that's that kind of everyday solidarity, that's everyday kind of empathy I'm talking about. And it's fucking powerful, and thank you so much. It's not the waking, it's the rising. It is the grounding of a foot uncompromising. It's not forgoing of a light. It's not the opening of eyes. It's not the waking, it's the rising. It's not the shade we should be passing. It's the light and it's the obstacle that casts it. It's the heat that drives the light. It's the fire it ignites. It's not the waking, it's the rising. It's not the song, it is the singing. It's the heaven of a human spirit ringing. It is the bringing of a light. It is the building of a light. It's not the waking, it's the rising. I could cry.
Behind it, oh, the fear of fellow man is mere assignment. Everything that we